County, it's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Good morning to you. So I sort of pre-introduced our segment here with Matt Curci and ARIN Intermediate Unit. He's got a couple of folks with him we'll introduce in a moment or so as well. Our visit is presented by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Law Firm and Best Personal Injury Lawyer 4 years in a row now in the Best of Indiana County contest. You can visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Matt, good morning. It's good to have you back with us here today. I had you here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, good morning, Todd. Thanks so much for having us.
We were talking then about school funding. It's one of those
Right.
one of those never-ending arguments that
Absolutely.
the state of Pennsylvania can't seem to figure out. But we've got something very much more exciting to talk about today. As you know, the Homer City Redevelopment has sort of changed the way people are thinking about employment and ultimately about education here in Pennsylvania. So you invited a couple of folks to come in and visit with us, and we can talk about this issue today, which sounds much more interesting.
It is interesting, and it's a nice. It generates some excitement. I'm very thankful to have Dr. Susan Griffith with us, who is our Director of Curriculum and Educational Technology, and Dr. Christina Koren, who is now the official title with IUP is Director of
Strategic Partnerships.
Strategic
IUP.
Partnerships, and these two ladies actually have the history behind a lot of what's going on here. I've been really excited to get on board with ARIN. I've had an opportunity as a superintendent prior to be part of the AICPP, and that is the Armstrong, Indiana Career Pathways Partnership.
Partnership Pathway.
I had it reversed.
It was so close, wasn't
So
it?
close. I'm so proud of myself, too. But this has been a great opportunity to collaborate, and we have a number of collaborators that have been working on workforce development over time, and it's been between K-12, higher education, business community partners, and we can talk a little bit about more of that, but a lot of work in trying to get kids prepared for the workforce. And you mentioned the redevelopment project going on at Homer City, and prior to that even we've looked at a number of things focusing on healthcare and doing a lot of opportunities, and I'll let the ladies comment more about that. But now again, obviously we have this pressing new industry coming in and a lot that's associated with it, whether directly with the center and the plant or all the work that comes around it. So we're really excited about moving forward and collaborating to get our folks prepared.
Yeah, and ladies, there was an event held recently at IUP that I know that a lot of folks are very, very excited about. Because, you can schedule events and you can think, okay, well, this seems like a good idea, but the response to it, I think, was tremendous, was it not?
Yeah, it absolutely was. I'll let Chris talk about that because she was the main person behind the scenes and collaborating and planning.
Yeah, maybe both come forward a little bit.
Sure, it was a true collaboration. We recognize in Armstrong and Indiana we have economic engines that drive workforce, and that's our educational institutions, both K through 12 and post-secondary. So as we were working together with this group here and a few others, looking forward to the fall, this was back in the spring, we said, let's kick off and get the topic of the Homer Center redevelopment project and recognize that there's multifaceted ways to connect our educational institutions to that project. And we thought, what better way to bring in voices from our Harrisburg, who have some experience doing this on the other side with Amazon. We had Robin Gorman as a fantastic keynote, and we had a panel that the group here and a few others worked to assemble, which featured voices who actually are in the field and work as administrators in data centers. So from Amazon, Tech Fusions, Burns and Scalo from Pittsburgh, who are leading the development. So we had kind of the different aspects. What is it like to build? What are the skills and jobs needed for building the data centers? And once they're built, what jobs should we anticipate? So it was really a thought-sharing day, and IUP worked so closely with ARIN IU and the county chamber and Byron over at the planning office to make it a true collaboration. And we had about 180 people show up, and folks from industry, K through 12, post-secondary, from all of our friends in the different sectors of higher ed. So we were just amazed at the response, which shows a reflection of the community we live in, who want to be proactive instead of reactive on this significant project.
Yeah, well, one of the interesting things about it to me is that it really is, you're talking to two different populations. The construction industry is one very vital early portion of this, but once the place is built, then you've got the long-term, the down-the-road jobs, and to get people that are ready to work in both of those fields is really going to be exciting to watch come together right here in Indiana County.
Yeah, and that's where we want to pull from what we have already in place and see where we can grow it. We have two wonderful CTCs in the area, Lenape Tech, and we have ICTC. We've got a lot of things going in the districts that are aligned to this learning that will prepare students for these jobs. So we're really excited about continuing the programming that will help students be prepared for the jobs that will be here local for them when they're out of high school and ready to jump into their career.
And I think this committee just shows you that ARIN IU is the driving force between the value of educational alignment, for K through 12 to post-secondary, and that's working together that we made that happen, keep happening, making things happen.
And that's the history of AICPP. I'm not going to say the words because, it's very difficult, but the history behind AICPP was really just to identify what careers in Indiana County are coming our way or that are needed to be filled immediately, and then to, leverage the students that we already have, the kids that are entering the workforce, but to have that collaboration of work industry and actual professionals in the field already meeting with students. And we've done that successfully with a few other pathways, including education and healthcare recently. So we're really excited to dive into the data center and the trades needs.
Yeah, but the program itself has existed since before
Absolutely.
Homer City Redevelopment. So have there been substantial changes prior to this in what the career needs would be in Indiana County?
The career needs really started with healthcare. That was a major one. Of course, education has seen a decline in people entering the teaching field, and so we've found ways to inspire new teachers entering that field. But I think that this definitely brings on new positions that we really didn't think about before. The word data center, the words data center really didn't enter my vocabulary until recently.
Yeah.
So I think that we are seeing a shift in the trend of needs, and we're very grateful that the Tri-County WIB does provide data on jobs that are coming, and they can do some forecasting for us so we can see what's coming down to be prepared for. So It has changed significantly, and I anticipate it to continue to change, but I think that just shows you growth, and that's exciting.
Matt, fit ARIN into that whole equation then.
Absolutely. So from ARIN's standpoint, like you said, this is such a big, it's such a big dynamic going on in the fact that there are so many careers, there are so many partnerships that need to be had. And you made the point before, it's not just the trades and so forth, it's what happens after, not just in that data center, but hospitality industry. You see more restaurants, hotels, it's in the healthcare and so forth. It's all the things that go with it. So we have amazing students within our school, within our region. We said 11 districts within Armstrong and Indiana counties. We have the two great tech centers. This is not a lift that any one group or organization can do on their own. So for ARIN, what we're trying to do and work and continue these partnerships, like with IUP, that's been so amazing, like with our other folks along the way, how do we pull this all together? So with ARIN being the educational agency in the region to help facilitate that, we want to pull everybody together. We want to get some firm plans to be able to understand what do folks need, how can we best prepare our students, and how can we make that happen? So that's what we're really excited about. I'll be honest, talking about the August 7th event, as you mentioned, there was actually, I walked in and I felt like there was really good energy.
Yeah.
And I'm not one for hyperbole and stuff, but I'm like, man, this feels like people are really excited. So we want to continue that momentum, engage those businesses, engage our schools. Our schools are ready. I know the businesses are ready. We got to get folks sitting down at the table together, really get an understanding of one another, and then work to make that happen. So I see that as being our role at ARIN, is how do we serve as that lead to be able to pull people in the same room.
Chris, I want to ask you a question about the connection between healthcare and the College of Osteopathic Medicine that will be coming to IUP. the data center and the overall employment picture in Indiana County and the training picture to make it all happen. There are probably people who say, that's too big a job for Indiana County. That's too many different directions to pull people. But it really isn't. It should actually mesh together pretty well, should it not?
Oh, it already is meshing, and it has been meshing. And a lot of that has to do with the good leadership we have at the university. Dr. Driscoll and his senior team brought on a dynamite College of Osteopathic Medicine founding dean. This decision came out of significant strategy sessions and planning, because we recognize where our assets are. We have a number of great programs at the university, but 30% of our students at IUP are majoring in a STEM-H career path, so like very health-oriented. So the existing capacity that we had, knowing that we have strong nursing, respiratory care, speech pathology, food and nutrition, I mean, to name a few, all feed up into making it very feasible on when the university came out publicly and committed to recognizing that IUP and this region can contribute to being a solution driver for rural health. And so, as that is getting operationalized through the leadership of Dr. Driscoll and Dr. Rose and Dr. Lucahans, the provost, and many others at the university, we recognize we need to mobilize now. How are we going to make this the impact of Pennsylvania? And that's aligning ourselves with K through 12. And ARIN IU and the leadership there has been significant in making things happen, right? It's not just talking, it's making things happen, recognizing that our significant work this past year as a collaborative drove a 2-part series where we had a day where we really strategized to bring in, and this was really IU's leadership, and I'll look to them to discuss, brought in key leaders from people who are in the fields of rural healthcare, running the gamut in terms of the type of people who we had featured at Lenape for a 1-day institute. Then out of that generated a 2-part day camp at IUP. So that was a significant initiative, pulled grassroots, right? No one else had done this. Mm-hmm. And we worked together and driving vans to IRMC, driving vans over to WCCC because they play a role in this. But figuring it out together and getting not only K through 12 schools from the great schools that were already listed together, but the teachers. We have educators now learning alongside, saying, where could you go work around this area in rural health, and where can you get training at the various institutions, and then how do we make that all happen with building out a very sustainable and lively and viable path? And that's what we are doing together, and I think that's what's remarkable. But I'll look to IU to maybe if you want to add some components from that 2-part series. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think it just takes the learning outside of the textbook. And, I was in a classroom with educators from the 2 counties who were, the teachers are hooked up to heart monitors, and we're learning about, heart and stress, and it's in real life situations. It's not through a textbook. But outside of that, we're also, kind of approaching the kids from like the soft skills side. So we do the soft skills challenge every year, and that is also through this group AICPP. So we're not only educating the teachers, educating the students by providing these opportunities. I mean, the real learning is going to happen, in the classroom and probably in the career, but we're providing these opportunities, but we're also being mindful of, we don't want to just create workers. We want to create workers that are showing up and that are, compassionate and that are dedicated and that have all of these skills that employers are looking for. So when the data center looks to hire, they know that if they came from Indiana County or from Armstrong County or the surrounding counties that have participated in our events, that they're the winners and they're going to do a great job.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to keep going with this. I really would. We're out of time, but I'd love to, there needs to be a part 2 to this. And maybe a part 3 and a part 4.
Absolutely. Yeah, we love it. You can tell we're excited about it. So.
Well, we can make that happen. And so we'll communicate. We'll get something on the schedule, get you all back in.
Sounds great.
Thanks so much for all of you for coming in to visit with us today. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Fox News next, and then it's the Brian Kilmeade Show.
After last week's season opening victory at Northern Cambria, the Homer Center Wildcats will celebrate their home opener, hosting one of the conference heavyweights, the United Valley Lions.
Cody Bell out of the backfield, gave